Mike, I see that you're on. Are you available to share with us in chat today? Are you lurking in the shadows?
Yeah, I'm here.
There he is. Hey, how you doing?
Mm-hmm. Good. Let me turn on my camera.
Fantastic. Are you going to do slides today? If so, I'll put on a co-host for you.
No, I should just be able to turn on my video, and there we go.
Yeah, so let me just pin that so we can get a good look at it. There we are. Hey, Mike, welcome. Mike and I have been friends for a few years, back in the treasurer days at the on OSM and things like that. Mike is a super well-connected, super friendly, super open source advocate kind of guy. Love Mike. We don't live too far apart. We're in neighboring states. Actually, don't you technically live in Wisconsin like me?
Technically, yeah. I'm like Sarah Palin. I can see Minnesota from my house.
Right, I know. Yeah, exactly right. Well, anyway,
your daughter is going to be going to school right next to over here, so hopefully I'll see more of you.
Yeah, we're going to be driving by, and in fact, I'm coming in a couple of weeks, so I'll hit you up and we'll grab some breakfast or something.
Awesome, perfect.
So, welcome, by the way. Thank you for coming on as a guest today. Mike is going to talk to us. Mike's at Codable now, and he's going to talk to us about how to switch from I only mentioned that as part of your resume. I don't know if you're mentioning them today, but you're going to talk about how to switch from being an employee to a full-time freelancer. So, Mike, take it away. You've got 19 minutes.
Oh, 19. Perfect. Even better. So, yeah, this is a webinar on how to use... Why is it my wrong slides? That title should have changed. I definitely changed this.
You've definitely never given the stock somewhere else.
No, I mean, I did do some edits to it, and these aren't my, whatever, we'll just deal with it. These aren't the right slides. Hold on one second. Reset.
Mike, this is OBS you're using here?
No, it's, so it's literally called, whatever. The slides are mostly the same. I only edited like 5 parts of it just to make it more Joomla-centric. Yeah, so the app is MMHMM.
Thank you very much.
So anyway, so I'm the community expert development lead at Codable. My email is mikedemo@codable.io. Twitter is probably the best place to reach me, at @mpmike. Some other stuff's on there as well. So let's talk about if you want to make the switch from freelance to full-time, what you need to think about and what you need to do to be able to do that. Quick thing about Codable is the world's largest WordPress freelance marketplace. We do other work besides WordPress, like Shopify, Joomla, Drupal, etc. But WordPress is probably what we're primarily known for. We have about 700 developers that work for us freelance full-time, well, on various amounts. And then we have about 25,000 clients. And we've done almost 300,000 separate projects in the 9 years that we've been around. So we know a lot about helping people make that switch. So Walt Disney said, he didn't actually say this, but people think he did. You can dream it, you can do it. It was actually attributed to an Imagineer who made up the quote in an interview in the 80s, but it kind of just stuck. And so I really believe that's really true with open source. Linus, one of the founders of Linux, said in open source, you have the right to control your destiny. That's very true, especially now. We live in a post-COVID world. Well, we live in a COVID world, and you can decide if it's post or not. But it's changed how people work. It also has changed, do you want to work freelance? Do you really need a full-time job? Especially as more full-time employers are having hybrid work offerings or wanting you to go back to the office, a lot of people are wondering, can they make that jump? Specifically with the things like childcare being so expensive, things like that. Can you really make that jump to freelance? So Spaceship Earth is one of the attractions at Epcot. It's about history communication. And the reason I bring it up is not only I have a really cool Polaroid photo I took of it. This is not a filter. It's an old Polaroid camera that I have that I took this photo. And what you're not seeing here is the 30 really bad ones at $2 per shot because it's expensive film. But anyway, it's a history communication. And it's interesting that us as web developers, we're really kind of controlling where communication's happening. Look what's happening in Ukraine right now is a perfect example. If it wasn't for the internet, we wouldn't be able to get the news out of there. The number one news publication right now in Ukraine is the Kiev Independent, which is actually a WordPress news site. And they broke out, they were the editors of the Kiev that got laid off about 6 months ago, started this independent news journalism site, was just doing donations only, and now it has earned millions of dollars in donations since the Ukrainian invasion with Russia's happened. And they're honestly some of the best journalism coming out. And if it wasn't for the web, if it wasn't for open source, if it wasn't for PHP, that work wouldn't be happening. And I think that's pretty cool. So back, when the Phoenicians invented the first alphabet to now, it's all about communication. You kind of got to think about what your passion is. Why do you want to be a full-time freelancer? Is it financial freedom? Is it because you enjoy it? Kind of think about it, because there's a big difference between freelancer full-time for web as a web developer and doing it as your side hustle. As your side hustle, it's nice, it's extra income, whatever. When it's your full-time income, all of a sudden your mindset might change. You might get worried if you don't close the project. You might be worried about your mortgage. You have to deal with the ebb and flow of the money coming and going. So, kind of really think about why you want to do this and if you'll really be happy in a full-time role. A lot of freelancers end up what I call accidental business owners. They basically start doing this for as a side hustle, and then they keep getting asked and referrals, and then they're like, oh, maybe I can do this full time. But they don't really think about, do I want to be a business owner? What does that mean? Do I have contracts? Do I have budgets? Do I have a business plan? Things like that. So you really kind of want to look at it carefully. I always recommend to people that are thinking about switching to Codeable or freelancing full time, is try it part time for a while before you make that jump, because you can always scale up if you need to. It's a lot harder to go back to a job in 5 years. You can definitely do it, but make sure it's the right decision for you and your family. So how to make this work? The first thing that I like to tell people is about benefits. And there was a slide here that talked about benefits that somehow didn't get imported when I saved it this morning. So benefits are the number one issue that US-based freelancers have. They're like, well, I need my health insurance and I need my, this and 401k and all this leave and all that. And they get really scared. And my spouse, my partner, Kayla, she quit her job for the state of Wisconsin. She worked there for like 12 years. And her thing was, well, to be a full-time freelancer, quite frankly. Now she's happened to be back at a wonderful new job that she loves and as a contract, and it's great. But she quit and it was scary. And her excuse was, well, my benefits are so good, I'm never going to be able to get them anywhere else. I have state benefits, blah, blah, blah. State benefits, blah, blah, blah. And it's true. Her benefits were good. Cobra was like $2,400 a month for us to keep the same health that we had through Cobra. However, there's things called the Freelancers Union. If you're a freelancer and you're not a member of the Freelancers Union, join the Freelancers Union. It's free. It's a great resource, and there's wonderful benefits that you get as a Freelancer Union member. For example, they have group health insurance at really low rates. They have group dental, group vision. They have community-based parental leave and medical leave, where you'll pay up to a max every month based on your lifestyle and your condition. Like, do you smoke? Do you not smoke? And it says, okay, your monthly contribution will be up to, like for me, it was up to $61, right? And that gives me, and that's based on my income and everything, and 12 weeks of leave for the plan that I looked at. But it's one of those things that it only comes out if the group uses. So the group has a pool of money, but some months you'll pay less. The average is going to be about $40 or something, I think it said for me. So Freelancers Union is great with that. Another service to really check out is Wingspan, wingspan.app. If you're a freelancer, this is honestly one of the best tools that I think nobody knows about. Do all your billing through Wingspan. It's free for you. And here's the thing, you pay no fees, no processing fees on credit cards, bank wires, nothing. You don't pay the 5% of PayPal. You don't pay the 2.9 to Stripe. What it does is, and I've done this with tons of clients, is the client can elect to do an ACH wire by logging into their bank for free, or do a credit card, and then they will pay the fee. I have had no clients complain, but it's zero cost to be an individual plan on Wingspan. You want to add $12 a month to Wingspan, you get their benefits plan. And their benefits plan isn't health insurance, but what it does give you is unlimited electronic e-visits for doctors, chiropractor discounts, pharmacy discounts, things like that. And they have their own group health plans for medical, dental, vision, and life that you can get quotes on. That's who we're with. And here's the thing, the same provider and the same plan we had with the state of Wisconsin, not exactly the same. It's $1,000 deductible versus $500, is only costing for a family plan $960 a month. The Wingspan.
And
everything, all the other coverage is exactly the same.
And Mike, just jumping in to tell, if you're not from the U.S., obviously most people get their healthcare through their work, and that's why here at J-Day USA, it's an important consideration. So Wingspan, it's invoicing, and you can also do your freelance billing and stuff through there?
It's primarily an invoicing platform, and then they have benefits that you can add on.
You can opt into.
Benefits are $12 a month. The invoicing is free, and there's no fees to receive any money, no matter how you receive it, either credit card or ACH. There's zero transaction fees for you as the freelancer.
Fantastic.
And then you can bolt on the benefits if you want.
Wonderful.
And then the Freelancers Union. Freelancers Union is mostly U.S. based, but they do allow you to join from anywhere. But the benefits are more U.S. focused. So. Cool. So how do you do this? I'm going to go through the rest of these slides really, really quick, but the benefits were important. That's why I hit it. Start with Launchpad sites. Stop selling all these huge websites that take you 8 weeks to finish and 4 weeks to sell. Unless you have clients drumming down your door, start selling $500 websites. Before you freak out, listen, there are plenty of people, and I know people that do this full time. They make 2 $500 websites a day. Use Launchpad sites, use themes, use templates, use page builders like SP Page Builder Pro on Joomla. And there are plenty of people that are willing to buy 1 to 2 page basic landing pages. These are the people that would do the Wix and Weebly customers, the mom and pop dry cleaners, things like that. Go to your local Better Business Bureau, go to your Chamber of Commerce, talk to them, sell these sites for $500. Make sure it's clear what they get and they don't get. One $500 site per business day is $120,000 your first year. I've given this advice for years, and I know dozens and dozens of people who do exactly this. The danger of this is if you sell the $5,000 website for $500 and then you take weeks and weeks to do it. You just have to make it very clear what they get and what they don't get, and then anything extra you can bill for. And then when they're ready to do something custom, you can. Now, as you get more experience and a bigger book of business and your line gets better, just start selling $1,000, $1,500, and just keep ranking up that amount until you have enough backlog that you never have to worry about your next project. Growth-driven design is a great course on HubSpot. Just Google it, growth-driven design. It's free. It's going to tell you the HubSpot CMS. Replace HubSpot with Joomla, WordPress, whatever you want. It's great. They have a wonderful guide on how to sell more retainer work.
Incidentally, developed by a fine Midwestern Wisconsin boy.
Luke Summerfield. Yeah. Yep. Look at your goals and make sure your goals are simple, and your goals need to be attainable, time specific, and make sure that they're quantifiable. Like, did they happen? Did they not happen? When you make goals for clients, make sure you ask the client, why do you want this site? Don't let them say to sell more. Make them give you numbers, and make them give you numbers that say, if I do this, will you be happy? And this can't be to make a pretty website. This needs to be, I need 5 leads a month, or I need this, or I need that. Because when you deliver the quantifiable numbers, they're never going to argue with you to do more work. It's when you say, well, and it's up in the air, and you don't want your client to ever question your worth. So make sure your goals that you have in writing when you're talking to them are clear. Sell monthly update packages. Retainer packages are some of the easiest way to make money. $100, $200, $50 a month to do your updates. Use tools like Watchful to help you do the updates and the backups. It's a great way to make great revenue. Use blocks and designs in SP Page Builder to come up with a couple a library of your own 20 block designs, and you can use these to build your own pages. Quick start again, use templates and themes to really just reduce the amount of time. Your goal is to reduce the amount of time you spend touching all these projects until such time you have so much work that you can increase your rate and do more custom stuff.
Mike, I want to throw back there to Jennifer's talk before the break, who talked about building a base package that you can roll out very quickly.
Yep.
So Go back and watch that if you missed Jennifer's talk earlier.
You want to be agnostic agnostic on what the customer is looking to do. If you offer what you offer and it's a low price package and the customer doesn't want it, move on. BNI and Chambers of Commerce. I'm a big fan of BNI for these small packages. You'll get orders all day long.
Mike, what's BNI?
What?
What's BNI?
Business Networkers International. They have chapters all around the world. It's one of those things where you pass leads back and forth. Like there's one plumber, one insurance agent, one this, one that. The problem with BNI is everyone's looking for a deal. So it's not really great on the high value stuff, but the basic package stuff, you'll sell all day long. And that's usually how most people get these $500 website deals, because they're like, oh, talk to Mike. He knows how to build a $500 site in a couple of days and you'll love it. Dream 100 is a great book called Dream 100 by Dana Derricks. Check it out, read it. How I've been able to succeed in most everything I do business-wise. I don't have time to get into it. He is a goat farmer from Wisconsin, though. And he is the largest grossing business author in the U.S. So, what that's worth. $125,000 on those $500 starter sites, one a day. Some boarding business stuff, responsible web ownership, period. Make sure you have a reliable Joomla host. Again, my slides didn't update. That's the number one thing you need. Then backups, like Akiba, SSL certificate, web application firewall, like Security or SiteLock, hosted SMTP, encryption. If you're doing anything, that has PPI. Your Joomla updates, and then two-factor authentication. So the bottom is the basics you need, and the top you go, better it gets for security. The higher you go up the pyramid, the more you can charge for your maintenance plans, quite frankly. Never work until you're paid. Don't work until you're paid. Bottom line. F you, pay me. Don't do anything until you're paid, period. Full stop. I don't care if their site's hacked. I don't care if their puppy is in prison and needs to be bailed out. Don't work until you're paid, period.
Not at all? Like you get full deposit. That's what you're going to say. Good. Okay.
Yeah. Get a deposit. Make sure the deposit's in writing, and make sure you have in your contract all the things that you need and what that is. There's a wonderful book by Nathan Ingram. It's $9 on Kindle on dealing with problem clients, building fences around friendly monsters. This should be required reading for any freelancer. It's amazing. Contracts are super important. They're what's going to protect you. Where you can get some contracts, Legal Shield, your own attorney. Monster Contracts is a great service. Ecom Legal and Monster Contracts are the two I recommend. They're both from attorney. They're both from people that I know and trust really well. Ryan Kinney is from Ecom Legal, and Nathan Ingram, who wrote this book, is from Monster Contracts. Recurring revenue is key, so get that from a hosting. Become a hosting affiliate. I don't recommend, reselling your hosting unless you have a maintenance plan. If you don't have a maintenance plan, have your client sign up via your affiliate link. Most hosts will give you lifetime affiliate revenue. Green Geeks, for example, gives you 20% on their basic shared plan, $75 a month. If you do one $500 site a day, that's $3,000 your first year. By 8 years of doing that, you're making $24,000 just in affiliate revenue from your hosting company. There are months that I get more from cloudaccess.net not now, but there were months in my last position where I got more from Cloud Access affiliate revenue than I did from my day job because of years and years of affiliate relationships. Talk about referral acquisition costs. Don't look at client acquisition costs. This is what you care about is referrals. It costs 7 times more to land a new client than to sell through an existing one. People remember experiences and talk about them. They won't remember the site. They'll remember you, what you did, what you remembered, how you acted, how you professionalism. How do you make people remember you? You send them weird shit. I sent 80 pounds of pasta to 10 WordPress influencers last year. 80 pounds, 80. I am still getting messages about this. I gave out tons of bold grid pens when I was at InMotion hosting. You know what the number one thing on social media was for InMotion and me for 2 weeks after I announced I was leaving InMotion? Are the Tide pens going away when Demo's leaving? That was asked by about 100 people. People remember these things.
Mike, I still have your Tide pen in my go bag for travel. Yeah.
Number one thing I recommend if it's a higher tier client is there's a service called Client Giant. You pay $10 a month, and they send random little gifts like this coffee mug at the start of the pandemic in your name with a handwritten note. Clients love it. They love it. If it's a really large client, send and they have a mascot. The upper left, you see the cat here. That was a mascot of one of our clients at my last firm. That cost $40. No, that cost like $60 to make. This is the stuff that people talk about. This is why people remember me. It's because of the weird shit, that I send. It's not because of the service I provide. And just to make sure that this works, I was talking to a cemetery yesterday, and the cemetery director was like, "Are you the Joomla guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "Oh, well, I'm so and so. You did a site for me 9 years ago." "Oh, okay." Um, it works.
Mike, Mike, you are at time. I'm going to jump in.
Yep, that's pretty much it. So be genuine, be yourself. And yeah, ends with the quote. So that's it.
Mike, that was a rapid gun amount of information. There are a ton of fantastic links in there. Do you think you might want to, as you exit, or please stick around, post a few of those links in the chat for us? Some of those sounded just fantastic.
I'll post a link to the slide deck, which then people can look at.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So. That was a lot of work, Mike. We don't have time to go in and ask some more questions, so I'm going to bounce you out. Thank you so much for showing up and helping today.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'll put the link to the slide deck in a few minutes.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, I hope you stick around because I'm sort of sure folks have some questions for you in the chat. Sounds good. All right, thanks, Mike.